That is why it is not the government environment. It is your environment and my environment. The environment belongs to every one of us, which needs to be protected and safeguarded, right? And we need to, after safeguarding and protecting it, we need to think about the future generation. Because if, as today, you and I destroyed this environment, what are we going to give what are we going to leave for the future?
Actions have consequences. Physical transformation is an inevitable constant in any environment. In the case of Ikeja government reserved area, known for its old conservative Victorian-style building, is gradually taking another shape, one which some of its residents are concerned about.
GRA Ikeja is the last vestige of the Western region. It was, when it was originally started, it wasn't in Lagos State. Lagos State came later, and it was a bit of an oasis. And it was like that until maybe 10, 20 years ago. And then all of a sudden, we got a rash of commercial activity. It really started when Nigeria Airways, it accelerated when Nigeria Airways became defunct, and a large part of GRA, which was owned by Nigeria Airways, was then sold. So a number of residents came in, or rather a number of property developers came into GRA that didn't imbibe the values of the residents that were already there, and created a little bit of a crisis that we're still trying to unravel today. Fortunately, the government of today, Ambodi's government, seems to be aligned with the idea of planning, and they've come up with Ikeja Model City, which they published about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and seems to want to bring GRA back to what it should have been, or rather it was planned to be, and what it should be.
From records available, which dates back the colonial days, Ikeja GRA has been a choice residential area for top government functionaries and other important personalities and their families. But all that is fast drifting.
There was, let's say, an architectural style in the GRA of old, whereby it was desirable to have a large garden. So the house, by design, would be put in the middle of the plot, and the residents would have a large garden to play with both families, because in those days there were single family residences, there were not multiple. You would struggle to find a lot of flats in GRA that are more than 15, 20 years old. Prior to that, they were all single family residences, and single family residences with large gardens. Most plots in GRA, as they are a government reservation area, came at an acre, and there are very few plots, even today, that are smaller than a quarter of an acre.
In those days, water will naturally drain in GRA. It cannot now, because we have so many development here and there that have put pressure on the land. So for water to even percolate now is a challenge. So inevitably, to solve that problem of flooding, you suddenly need drainage all over the whole place. That is largely lacking in GRA now. That's you find some areas in GRA heavily flooded whenever it rains now. Again, some of the roads have given way completely. And again, you need to address that one too. Again, even beyond that, the number of vehicles, the traffic in GRA is much heavier than before. It's even much more compounded by the closures that the state government did on Mobalaji Bankantoni. So you now discover that most people now will prefer to come through the GRA, thereby compounding our already congested area for us. So again, there is a reasonable need for expansion of some of these roads, or the upgrading of some of these roads. And unfortunately, the worst one is that because new developments are taking place, vehicles not envisaged that will ply this road are now plying the road, heavy trucks all over with loads on them. So thereby, of course, threatening those roads. Not only even trying to damaging them, let me say damaging them. Most of them are already damaged and destroyed already. So these are some of the challenges we are having. And again, of course, we have that of the transportation equally. Gone were those days that you never find all these tricycle within the GRA. Although as the law stands today, they are not even meant to be here at all. Not even the motorcycle are meant to be within the area. But what do you observe? They are still always, they are almost all over the whole place. Of course, they equally poses extreme security threat to our people here. You hardly find any resident who can freely jog all over the whole place again.
Drifting to the point that in spite of the aesthetical transformation currently going on, as depicted by some of the high-rise commercial flats springing up in the area, it is obvious that the development might have some social, economic, and environmental implications.
Some part of GRA, like Isaac John, Joel Ogunaike, I believe they are mixed areas, commercial and resident, right? But the inside of GRA is purely residential. You understand? But the question I continue asking, the government cannot be everywhere, I said. When people, the residents, see a structure coming up, looking at it like a hotel or looking like eateries, and where you think it's residential, notify the government before people start doing something there. But the moment you have not notified us, how do we know? Do you understand this? So we need to collaborate together with the government, every one of us, to see that we have a better environment. Like what what the governor wants, the Governor Akim Ambode, he emphasizes every time he wants a clean and healthy environment for Lagosians. That's why it's, this year is concerns this is on environment and transportation. How you say they are interrelated. Transportation due to emission, pollution, right? Environment, we must tackle the issue of flooding and also issue of waste management. Its emphasis is on this, and the administration wants to get hold of this year, that we must tackle issues of this. And there's something going on now in waste management, transformation. You understand what I'm saying now? So the government is looking in these two angles now, the environment and transportation.